The 15th August 1947 and partition of India at the hands of the British created a new border between India, what would become Pakistan, where over 10 million people were forced from their homes and between 1 and 2 million people were killed. Today, we look at British colonizations as a whole and its impact on future generations. This is News with Us from Adelina and Ergina. Well, looking at the wider scope of British colonization, its enduring legacy is reflected in the structure of society, influencing political structures, economic system, and cultural identity around the world. The scars left by colonial exploitation, cultural, ensure, and imposed borders. The British Empire was once the largest empire in history, spanning across continents, ruling over millions of people. But this global dominance came at a high cost, as the British relied heavily on the practice of colonialism. In this video, we will explore the history of British colonialism and its impact on the world. We will examine the legacy of this complex and controversial period of history and consider what we can learn from it today. The origins of British colonialism can be traced back to the early modern period when Britain began to establish trade links with the rest of the world. In the 16th and 17th centuries, British merchants and traders began to set up trading posts and factories in India, Africa, and the Caribbean. These trading posts were the first step in Britain's colonization of these regions. They allowed the British to establish a foothold in these areas and to begin to exert economic and political influence over them. As Britain's power and influence grew, so too did its colonial holdings. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the British Empire expanded rapidly with new territories added to the empire on a regular basis. During this period, the British relied heavily on military force to establish and maintain their colonies. British soldiers and officials were sent to these colonies to enforce British law and to quell any resistance to British rule. The effects of these expansions were felt around the world. In India, for example, the British East India Company became the de facto ruler of the country, imposing British law and customs on the Indian people. Today, the legacy of British colonialism is still being felt around the world. Worldwide, like I'm people, game of crime machine, normal when that shit pro turn wide, when that wick on your glass half empty, mine is that jingle, bitch.